So we're going to go to share because that is how iMovie asks you to export it. And we're just going to hit export movie. And I'm going to go ahead and put it where I actually want it. In a, let's find the right, there is a method to my organizational madness, I swear. We're just going to put it in a folder called video. And now it's going to give us a bunch of options, and we're actually going to go ahead and export it as a large file.
So that's the quick and easy way to export something. And you can see it has all the options that you would want it for. It tells you that this is optimized for Apple TV, your computer, Mobile Me, and YouTube. But I prefer to have a little bit more control. So if you feel like you can get a little bit better video out of it, you can actually use something called export using QuickTime. And this gives you a lot of options. So let's just go ahead and say we want to make it as a QuickTime movie right there, movie to QuickTime movie. So it'll make it a .mov file type.
And I'm going to put it where I want it just to keep things organized. You know, it doesn't look organized as you're watching me speed through files, but I promise there's a method to my madness. All right,
and then we'll go in and we'll get to play with our options. Now, if you're going to use anything beyond iMovie, this interface doesn't change. I personally use Final Cut Pro or Adobe Premiere on occasion, and you actually have this option available on those programs. So we don't want to prepare for internet streaming because that'll actually it'll prepare your video to be played across the internet, but it'll degrade your video a little bit, and you don't want that. You're going to send it to YouTube, and YouTube can handle the big files. So don't worry about internet streaming. Here's our option for our sound. Normally you can just keep this the way it is. I always just put the video at just a little bit better, but don't be too overwhelmed by the amount of options. The way it is you can use linear PCM. I'm not even sure what that means, and it's great. It's going to play it the way you want it to play. So I always just make sure that the quality is just a little bit better. And then the size, it automatically sets it at what it wanted to export before, but let's say we want it just a little bit nicer. We're going to do it at 1920 by 1080, so that way if you want to play it on a web page or something at just a little bit bigger size, we're exporting for that.
Now, something that's important to note is that it matters what camera you were shooting it on. So the camera that we shot this on shot in 1080 HD. But if the camera that you shot on only shoots in, say, 720 HD, there's no point in putting it at 1080 because it can't make it better than the quality that it originally was.
So we're going to say OK here. And just one more thing to check before we go ahead and export it, and that's our settings. And now we're just going to say, all right, we want it to be the best quality possible. And you tell it that here and down here. And again, the rest of the stuff is just very technical information that you don't really need to understand at the moment. Just need to make sure that everything is set the way it is at standard. So this is their compression type. This is just normal standard stuff. You just want to change this right down here under compressor. So now we're going to say OK. We're going to say OK one more time. Double check everything where you're saving it, and then go ahead and click save.
And now it's obviously going to take it a little bit of time to export your project, especially if you are saving it at the really high quality settings that we've gone ahead and put ours at. So this is a good time to, you know, go get a snack, go back to your studio and work for a little bit because we've definitely got some downtime here. You can see it's telling us about 20 minutes to export our project. So we'll just sit tight, and when that's done, we'll come back in and talk about uploading it to YouTube.